Hello fellow Helldivers, Thornton here, and today we're going to be talking about, well, some doom and gloom for the game. There's a lot of dissenting articles, some saying this game is done for. I see other articles saying this game is going on an upwards trajectory. We're going to go over both points of view and what it means for releasing content as Arrowhead seems to be on a summer break, and will it be able to revitalize the game and silence some of these critics. But without further ado, let's talk about Helldivers 2. So recently there was an article put out by Forbes, and they went ahead and talked about how Helldivers 2, since its initial launch, has lost about 90% of its player count. And if you actually look at it, that is true, but there are some things that the article gets wrong or just completely does some oversight on. It's kind of odd because they do mention that this is a live game. It is a live service game, although not in the traditional sense because we haven't gotten seasons yet, although that is apparently on the way as up to season 3 has been data mined. The first season is going to be Trial War, but there is no finishing Helldivers, which is constantly adding new gears, cosmetic major orders, and new fronts in the war. Players have been complaining that higher levels were too punishing to be fun, but after a large-scale buff patch, it barely moved the needle. And what I think the author of this article gets completely wrong is that while he is correct that it is a live service game, this is literally the flow state of live service games. There are always going to be peaks, and there are always going to be lows as well. Even looking at some juggernauts like Fortnite, there are certain seasons where when they get new content, it is absolutely surging, and then there are times when it is absolutely dead. I cover Apex Legends as well on my other channel, and this is something that I see all the time that I don't think the author either felt like mentioning or went against what narrative he was trying to build. Then he goes on to talk about there are other issues here, which is the format, both in terms of content but also monetization. This is a game that has not announced any major expansions like other live PvE games might. The timeline of what is added and when is a surprise, and even a major event like the introduction of a new enemy race to fight, the Illuminate, will arrive at some point, will not cost anything to participate. And once again, while the guy is 100% right that there will need to be expansions for this game, it literally released back in around February. It's been 4 months. We've got 2 enemy factions to fight, a bunch of Warbonds that have come into the game. They've raised the level cap. They've introduced new stratagems for a game that's in its first 4 months with a brand new enemy faction because the Illuminate are definitely coming. We've seen the in-game models, and they're even working on new enemy types coming to the game, such as the Bile Titan Kamikaze thing. That Arrowhead is doing a pretty good job. Now, yes, right now, technically, Twinbeard did let us know that there will be a summertime solstice, which the people in Sweden take care of themselves on. It's about a 6-week vacation, but Helldivers 2 has not been abandoned by any means. But while they're doing that, they've also said, with the production director Alex Boyle saying, they're very excited to see the future improvements we want to make to the Galactic War and all the tools we have planned for the Game Master, meaning that Joel is going to introduce brand new ways for us to play the game. They're constantly working on stuff, and there's just a little bit of patience because I don't think anyone, including Arrowhead and Sony, saw how popular this game was going to be and how quickly they would have to jump on in delivering new content. That being said, the whole PSN debacle wasn't a very good start, and that could have impacted player numbers as well, but the whole narrative that the game is dying or dead is just a completely false one. Is it as strong as it did when it first released and there was all this new stuff that no one had seen? Of course not. That is absolutely the state of live service games, as I mentioned. And we already know that next month there's going to be the brand new Warbond Freedom's Flame, which seems to be anti-fire based, and that the Illuminate are going to be very shortly after. And in case you guys haven't had a chance to see the upcoming Warbond, I'll go ahead and show it and you guys can go ahead and watch through this, but it's very clear and evident from the gameplay that they have a lot of things that they are working on, and I'm very excited to see it come to the game.
Deploying fortification. Deploying support weapon. Sending down support weapon.
Coming in hot.
Tactical asset near your location.
Let me know down below, what are your guys' thoughts on the current state of the game? Do you think that content needs to be pushed out a little bit more? Or do you think that right now it's in a fairly decent place and, people just need to be a little bit more patient? Also, don't forget to check out this channel right here and this channel right here where I cover more information on Helldivers 2 and other video games. And until next time, everyone, thanks for stopping by and keep spreading democracy.